Welcome to Conversations with Dr. Harriet and our special guest, Shawn M. Nicholson. Hello, how are you?
Dr. H, as we affectionately call you. Hello, thanks for having us.
Well, Shawn, I have to tell everybody, as I always do, I've known you for over 25 years. We were a radio co-host on a radio show and a morning show in Richmond, Virginia, a long time ago. Gosh, it seems like forever.
Yeah.
And you have been on pretty much every platform that I have done. I've been able to feel blessed that I'm able to call you, and you're so willing to be a guest and share your knowledge. So you've been on all my radio, all my TV, the internet, everything. And so here on a new platform with Conversations with Harriet on the Power Network, I knew that I had to have you as a guest. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. And I know our listeners are going to enjoy today's show.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I always refer to you as my big little sister. So
I
thank
know it. I know it. It's so funny because, I'm giving advice and taking advice. So
you.
it's good to have people in your life that you can listen to and be listened to. So we love that. So our topic for today is business tips for successful 2001, and also we're going to be talking about your 21-day business challenge. But before we do so, I want you to tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Well, it's pretty easy. I mean, I'm a third generation contractor and even entrepreneur on both sides of my family. I got a fun fact that I'll share with you in terms of business. But I have been an entrepreneur now for well over 20 plus years. We've owned and operated several businesses. I feel successful. We've made an impact in whatever community that we've been in. We've coupled that with workforce development, which has been a major passion of mine because it's by being able to produce revenue for yourself, for your family, to begin to build wealth, to create wealth, and then to build wealth, and then to even leave wealth to our families is very significant, as well as a goal that I have had. And so we just want to show others how to do it. My large part of my background has been in construction, real estate development. And so that's where I began to, really develop the business savvy, if you will, and the techniques and the tips that we've uncovered over the years. Our mantra at SMN Square is that we provide the building blocks to your success and sustainability. So a little pun on my building background, because I know that if you are building a house or building or a church or whatever the case may be, if you start off with a sure and solid foundation, it doesn't matter how high in the air that you take it, because that foundation is solid and you can just stack levels upon levels and levels upon levels. And that's how you have the building blocks to success and sustainability.
Also, you are is it third generation
Yeah.
pastor as well, or preacher?
Well, that would be two. Yeah, that would be
Two.
two generations. Yeah, my grandfather was a deacon. Yeah, but my dad and his brothers and my first cousins, and they're all ministering. Currently, only two of the first cousins are pastoring. That's myself and one of my younger cousins. But the others are like associates or helping out their fathers in ministry. So yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
good, so good. And I have your contact information. Actually, reminded me to put that. There we go. That's the ticker. So the ticker is, and I'm trying to be CNN, trying to do what I can do, right? So the ticker is on. It has all your contact information, and so if anyone wants to reach out to you, which I know they do, then they can contact you on social media at Shawn SMN Square and www.smnsquare.com.
Yes.
Well,
Thank
we're
you.
talking today about business tips for successful 2021. Now, I know last year was crazy. 2020 was a crazy time. We got hit with COVID, and it just kind of just for a lot of people, they had to pivot and figure out something else to do. So talk about what you had to do, and I think you were already probably doing all this in advance, but tell everybody how you switched over, what you had to do to adjust to 2000.
Yeah, so it was different. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I at the latter part of 2019, I went to South Africa to try to scout out some areas there. To ultimately, the end goal would be to build a school, a vocational school. So I went out there to scout. I went to Johannesburg or Jayburg. And I went to Cape Town as well, just to kind of identify some areas that we would probably want to work in. And so I came back into the States early part of January, excited about what was going on, what we were going to do. Had already teed up an event that would be in April back in South Africa. It was a business and ministry conference or summit that we were already starting to register people. And I mean, I'm just excited about this. Got my ticket ready to go, having conference calls back and forth with the people that were there. They had a team on the ground. We had already, within 30 days of them putting the flyers, we probably had about 150 people already registered, ready. I mean, just ready to go. And then the world stopped. So the world stopped. So we quickly had to pivot. I had a couple of co-working spaces. And so all of that revenue that would be coming in had to cease because we weren't networking and co-working any longer because of the mandate that the governor had placed on the state of Virginia, where I reside. So we had to do something. Well, we had a conversation with the American Red Cross, is who I am my company is a licensed training provider for them for some other trades, if you will. And they asked us to take over their nurses assistance training program. So then the light bulb went on. I was like, yes, this is the way that we need to go. So instead of just, and you know me for years, that I don't just do things, I'm going to do it in excellence and it's going to be big. So instead of just taking on their nurses program, I said, well, shoot, I'm gonna launch a whole vocational school. And that's what we did. So we ended up getting another facility that was more conducive to learning in a traditional or maybe non-traditional way of instructional. And we just put all the pieces together, and here we are months later. And to date, we have trained, even in a global pandemic, from September to now, right at about 100 people. And whether it was through the nursing program for them to become CNAs, or the OSHA training, or first aid CPR, we've trained right at about 100 people since September. Our goal is to have 200 by the end of this September. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, we're talking today about business tips for a successful 2021. So, what would you say to that person that, hey, I lost my job, or I just don't like my job anymore, or I don't like how, they've switched to in person and have me doing everything that I'm not even, I'm overqualified.
Right.
What would you say to that person that wants a new start?
Well, I'm going to say it this way. I think that every individual has to make a decision that they're either going to operate in a fixed mindset or they're going to operate in a growth mindset. And I think that's where it all begins, because we're so accustomed to working in a fixed mindset because this is what we're used to. This is our comfort zone. This is our sweet spot. This is what everybody said I was going to do, or this is what I only know how to do. And we put ourselves in a box. But when we approach life and circumstances and we move towards a growth mindset, that means that there's some flexibility there. That yes, maybe I can learn something new. Yes, maybe I did work in this industry for 30 years, but I have some other skill sets that I can apply. So I'm gonna focus on those. So number one would be to make the decision to operate in a growth mindset. And once you do that, you're going to see all kinds of opportunities come out. You're going to see the potential that is laying dormant inside of you begin to surface, because now you're looking at things through different lenses.
Oh, okay. And I know you're a big component to 7 streams of income, although I think you probably have 14 streams of income. So tell us about how important it is to not just depend on that one, even if you are working a 9 to 5, or just not to depend on that to have making money in your sleep. I think that's what you told me before. You like that type
Yeah.
of thing. So tell us about that.
So, I mean, I've gotten burnt. I've gotten hurt. I've lost just about almost everything at one particular time for putting all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. And I vowed that that would never, ever happen again. And so, fortunately for me, everything that I do overlaps. So it's not like I'm doing a lot of different things that are not related. They're joined together. I'm very deliberate, very intentional with anything that I get involved in. I will probably never open up a restaurant because A, I have no desire to open up a restaurant. B, it's too much work and the overhead is just ridiculous for me. But for someone else that may be good. So I'm not going to bring in something that's totally different than what my business model already is and then think I'm going to make a lot of money doing it. I'm going to stay within the confines of what I do and then expand upon that and make it what I want it to be. So yeah, having multiple streams of income is definitely a factor in this. And I think that helps us to be successful.
Okay, and even so, I think that people need to figure out what they love to do.
Absolutely.
Now is a great time to say, you know what, I've always wanted to start a catering business. I've always wanted to start a flower business.
Yeah.
I have a friend who makes corsages, and she just had that. She always had this dream, and I was like, okay, do it.
Exactly.
you know, I've always, I'm a great writer. I've always wanted to write a book. But what are you passionate about? What do you love? And I think just research and find out, Google it. My
Yeah.
favorite word, Google it and
Yeah.
find out how to.
Yeah.
How do I do this? How do I do that? And, and let those be different ways of making money. I actually was recently Bishop Jakes had his annual leadership conference, and it was virtual, of course, this year. And one of the guests, and I'm so sorry, I can't think of his name right now, but he talked about every home, especially every African American home, but every home should have an e-commerce business.
Okay.
He said every home there should be selling something, whether it's a t-shirt or a candle or, a piece of soap or
Right. Right.
something in every home, because that's something that you could set up. And again, you're making money while you sleep. You're
Yeah.
not having to watch over that. So once it's set up, you take the time to set it up, and it's already working for you. And I thought about that. How true is that? I mean, that's something simple that all of us can do. There's so many different outlets that you can go. I know, like with someone like Shopify, who
Mhm.
they drop ship for you. You're not
Yeah.
even having to keep the items in stock.
The inventory, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So those are things that you should be thinking about. And so, again, Google it. Just Google everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
You,
um,
you had to get them as a sponsor. You keep on.
I know it. I know. Let me write myself a note for that. I was also listening to someone else. I love just listening to any type of self help. I think I got that from you because you were always listening to something. I mean, just somebody was in your ear, a self help something
Sure.
was always, where you're always learning. I think that's what's so important, that we always have to just keep learning and just, we can never have too much information,
Absolutely.
coming to us, because something's going to be said that will stick.
Yes.
They can change your life. Something so simple can
That's right.
change your life. And so I was listening to someone, and they were saying that to Google who you admire, or what do you want to be, like a successful CEO of this, or successful CEO of this, or the exercise guru, or a singer, or a preacher, whoever.
Okay.
Google what is their best everyday personal practices
Okay.
that they do, and find out what they do every day. And most of you are going to find with most of them that they get up early, and I know you do that. They keep a schedule. They before they get started, they do their devotion, they
Yep.
meditate, they exercise, or whatever. That they have something they do every day before they get started with their day, and so follow what they do.
That's right.
Yeah, and
No,
it's
that's
so
big.
simple.
Yeah, it is.
Yes,
It
it's
really
so
is.
simple. I
No
mean,
need,
easy.
don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, find out what they're doing. And another, I think we talked about this one before, that it was a quote that some people dream and they're in their bed and they're dreaming and they stay in their bed and dream, and others get out of bed
You
and
better
work
go.
on their dream.
Make that dream
What
come
would
to
you say to
reality.
that person? What would you say to them?
You got to get out of bed. You can't get things done just laying there. And it's been said that the early bird gets the worm and all that, and there's some truth to that, but it's really about perseverance, and not being in resiliency, not being able to take no for an answer. Anyone that talks to me knows I don't take no for an answer. If you tell me no, I'm pushing back, and I need to know why you're saying no, and I'm gonna give you some counters to that, because I'm persistent in what I do. Now, I'm not saying I'm aggressive to the point that, I make a lot of enemies, but at the same time, I'm persistent to get what I want. Because I mean, let's take it spiritual. We are the head and not the tail, right? We are above and not beneath. We are the lender and not the borrower. So I know that my faith teaches me that I can say, to call those things that are not as though they were, and it will happen. And I have the faith to believe that. So I'm really in control of my own destiny. So if I don't have it, it's because I didn't call it into existence. And that's the way I believe. Now people may argue and say that they may be different, but right now it works for me. So I'm gonna go with that.
That's right. And encouraging everybody, if it's working for him, again, why reinvent the wheel? Do what he's doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My father, I never got the chance to meet my paternal grandfather. He died actually when my father was 13. But he used to tell me that he said, if you want to make a lot of money, you do something either someone doesn't know how to do or they don't want to do. And I've adopted that and embraced it. And I make sure that I can do it better. And I'm gonna make sure that it's pristine all the way. And because that's how you began to have return business and referrals and all. I mean, I can do stuff. I do stuff currently now based off of referrals. That's it. Never even knew the people. Don't advertise that particular thing. It's just off of referrals because we have created that sense of comfort and trust with people.
Okay, that's good. Now, I know that you talk about a 21-day business challenge. Tell us about that.
So, wow. So psychology states that, or in psychology, it states that, if you do things for a period of 21 days, it becomes a habit. And that is true. And so I wanted to apply that notion or that fact to business. And we created a challenge that basically, through consistent effort, that if we took 21 days to change something that we wanted to do differently, what would be the end result of that? And that really talked about habits. Even in business, we have bad habits, whether it's waking up late, whether it's not being persistent, as I mentioned, whether it's procrastinating. These are bad habits. So if we can focus on those particular bad habits for 21 days, we can change it. And that really included the habits that contributed to bad business decisions and potentially irreversible failures. And so we created this challenge to be able to help those that would listen to it and take the plunge, if you will. The 3 points that we wanted to kind of focus in on this 21-day challenge basically was vision, goals, and priorities, and creating a list that would either impact you or they would make things easier. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like hard stuff. We do hard
Right.
work, but we don't work hard, and we work efficiently and effectively. So through these 3 points, vision, I understand that there's a mission and a reason why I do what I do. Goals, I have some type of measurement or matrix that I can quantize, if you will, those goals or those things that I'm doing. And then priorities. what's mandatory? What are my focus goals? What am I doing that I don't really probably need to do and still be okay? So that was the reason why we created the 21-day business challenge, to change bad habits.
I like that. And even when we were talking about Googling the person that you admire, that you want to be successful, who is successful, even with that, I think if you follow what they do for at
Mhm.
least the 21 days, I think that you will definitely see the difference because, like you said, it takes 21 days to change a habit.
Yeah,
So if if that person is getting up every morning and doing their devotion and doing meditation and or they're reading or they're doing something for 21 days, I think that it will change how you look at your life.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. And I think that when we well, in business, there's a lot of ebb and flows with businesses. I mean, especially right now in this global pandemic, businesses, unfortunately, that were thriving, and they were being okay, had to shut down.
Right.
Other startups that worked all their life just to raise enough money to take that leap of faith and take that
Right.
and then once
Yeah.
we get out there, then the whole world stopped, right? There's so many different factors to this, but when you can identify, and you brought a good point up when you talked about passion. If you're passionate about something, you're going to continue to do it because it becomes a part of you. One thing that I say all the time is that passion to me is just simply pass I on. I break the word up, and that middle word is I, or that middle letter is I. And as I pass myself on to other people, now I'm replicating, I'm duplicating things. And now it's not just me doing it, but I have a whole string of people that are doing it along with me.
That's good. And so if someone's interested in taking the 21-day business challenge, what would they need to do?
Oh, that's great. Yeah, so it's on demand, actually, as a matter of fact, on our website. So you can go to www.smnsquare.com and click under webinars, and you'll see the 21-day challenge that's there. So by all means, I encourage everyone to do that. As a business owner, you have to take the next step. You got to take the next initiative. You have to strategize your next move with intention. And now's the time really to think positively and not, negative.
Okay. And even well, I want to talk about even your schedule. Now, I know that you are very stringent on keeping it, well, you're stringent, keeping a stringent schedule and that you stick to your schedule and everything is on there. Tell us about how that is. What do you do with your schedule?
Yeah. So I've learned that, organization is very key. And if I was not as organized as I am, I would not be able to do a third or even half of what I do. Um, I make sure that I document everything. I don't procrastinate. If there's something that I need to do to set up a calendar event, I do it right then. If I'm talking to somebody, if I'm meeting someone and say, well, we want to get on your schedule for next week, I do it right then so that I can make sure that I stay on task, because I have convinced myself to follow my calendar. And if it's not on my calendar, it will not get done. And I schedule everything. I schedule my breaks. I schedule my meditation, if you will, my devotion. I schedule everything. Matter of fact, I even schedule my coffee being made in the morning. So I make sure that everything that I do is scheduled, and that helps me stay on track. And it's important to be able to say no to the things that are not on the schedule, because that can totally take you somewhere that you don't necessarily need to be, and it prevents you from getting back to where you do need to be. So
That's good.
making sure that you keep a good schedule is fine. I've even tried to find an assistant, to do that, and I have been unsuccessful in doing that because I'm so. It's like, well, you don't need me, and I'm like, yes, I do, but the way everything is like, well, you got everything taken care of. So I guess whatever I'm doing is working.
I like, that's so funny that you said that. So today I had a full schedule recording today and doing a lot of different things. And so I thought I had everything perfectly done. And then I thought about, I haven't had coffee today. And so if I had scheduled it, I could have had my coffee
Shame
before
on
I
you.
started all of my everything else. So what I did is in between, I did get the coffee in, but
There you
that's a good idea. Go ahead and schedule it. Then you're not going to forget about it. Now, also really quick, our time is ticking so fast, but do you suggest that people join a chamber? You know, in everybody's
go.
area, there's some type of business chamber or business organizations. What do you suggest for the small business person just starting out?
So let me answer the question this way. Prior to the recession, I've identified that there were three things that I did not do that I think would have helped me to sustain a little longer had I done it. And that was I didn't have a sales force. I did not collaborate with other people, and I did not belong to the local chamber. And since 2016, I changed all of that. And the first thing that I attacked was joining the Chamber of Commerce. And I'm telling you, joining the Chamber of Commerce, and I'm a little biased because I sit on the board of one of them that's here in Virginia, but it is so valuable. Marketing, ideas, exposure, network, opportunities to increase your business. It's all found in the chamber. Programs, webinars now, but before, in-person sessions and summits and all that are free to you because you belong to the chamber. You can accomplish so much if it's no more than meeting someone that you probably never would have gotten a chance to meet. It happens at the chamber. You know, to go to a chamber lunch and learn, right? To hear something from other professionals. Those are some things that are very valuable. Now, I will say it takes time. You got to carve that out in your schedule because it's necessary. A lot of times they meet in the morning, you know, so if you're just at the start of your morning, that's something that you should schedule. Sometimes they meet at lunch. Well, you need to put that on your schedule. Sometimes they meet after hours. Well, that needs to be on your schedule because it is so valuable. You don't know who you're going to run into. You don't know what contacts are going to be made at that particular chamber event. I 100% validate and affirm any positiveness about the Chamber of Commerce because they have been very valuable to us, very valuable.
That's good. So that's good to know. Also, even with networking, you
Yeah,
know, getting out of our comfort zone. A lot of times in church, especially for those of us who've been in church, we look at one way and it's like we only want to associate with church people. Well, church people aren't the only ones in business.
yeah, yeah.
They're not the
No,
only ones who can change your life in business and who may buy your product or, you know, support your business. And so
absolutely.
we need to get out of our comfort zone
Yeah,
and start meeting new people and getting new ideas and just a fresh idea. And I love that. Well,
yeah.
our time is gone for today, Shawn. Wow, this has
Oh,
been
wow.
so good. I always enjoy it. Will you come back again?
Absolutely.
We'll do a different subject if
Okay,
you
no
want, but
problem.
we can always talk about business. But it's always something I know you have such a wealth of information. But we have about a minute and a half left. So in 30, I guess, give yourself 40 seconds. Will you just encourage our viewers who are listening from all over and watching from all over the world on the Power Network?
Oh, absolutely. Well, there you go. Since it's a power network, you have the power to accomplish and to achieve every goal, every dream, every vision that you've ever had. The power resides in you. All you have to do is have that growth mindset to know that you will not take no for an answer, that you will definitely stay the task, keep focused, make sure that you accomplish the things that you set out to do, because now is the time. If ever a time for you to be successful, today is the day. Now is the time. This is the season for you. It is time to power up. Yeah, and take it to the next level.
I love that. Power up. I think here at the Power Network, we're going to have to adopt that thing. Power up. Do we need to pay you for that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
An absolute
I just play.
power up on the Power Network. But thank you so much, Shawn. I appreciate you and just again, praying for you and your
Thank you.
family and your beautiful wife and your beautiful daughters, your
Thank you.
successful, beautiful daughters,
All of
and
you. All of you.
raising entrepreneurs, right? And
Absolutely.
so
All of you.
I
Yeah.
definitely appreciate you and definitely want to get you back and to give us an update. And because I know you've been a blessing. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And yes, they're all three of them are entrepreneurs in their own right. So yes, definitely.
That's good. Okay. Well, thank you again.
All right. Thank you
Have a
for
good
having me.
day.
Appreciate
All
you.
right.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.